part 2 of my bullying and relationship. Why I was sent to the principal's office. Remember in the last video when I told you my friends had told me I needed to go teach her a lesson? Those same exact friends told her, and this is why I laugh, because it's so fucking funny. It's funny. They went and told her I was planning to beat her up. Bet you didn't see that one coming. I know I didn't. So I'm brought to and they had told her, and then they went and told the principal saying, she's gonna beat me up, help me, help me, help me. Well, do you have anyone else who heard her say this? His friends volunteered and said, yep, she said she was gonna beat her down and teach her a lesson and just fucking, she ain't gonna be alive. That is how they put it to the principal. He's telling me all this, and I said, no, that is not what happened. And that is the worst feeling in the world. Telling the truth. To where I don't lie. I don't like to lie. I don't try to lie ever in my life. This is why I don't like telling the truth. I keep my mouth shut a lot of the times. For what happened in high school to me. So basically, that's what happened. And he said, well, since you're planning to beat her up, you know, I think you need to sit in ISS so this doesn't happen. I said, but it's a half day. This is the last day until the holidays. I never said that. I was never planning to do anything to her. Ever. Does it look like I would do anything like that? Does it look like I would be capable of doing something like that? Honestly here. I was in 8th grade. 8th or 9th. Honestly. That's why it's stupid. To feel, I'm sorry if I start crying, to feel that helpless. Never was gonna hurt her. Nothing. My friends were trying to talk me into it, and I wasn't having any of that. So there I sat, an in-school suspension, for the rest of the day. Half the day, I should say. I didn't get to leave for lunch. They would not bring me a tray of food to eat for lunch. I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve to eat, is what they told me. And, of course, you know, like I said, my parents weren't notified, so I start texting my mom. She's like, aren't you supposed to be in class? And you know you're not supposed to be texting in class. I said, I'm not in class. Where are you? In the office. Are you okay? What happened? What's going on? They thought I was going to attack her. My mom came up to the school. My next text message was for her. I'll be there in a minute. She came and screamed and yelled. You pissed her off. My mom knew at that time that I was being bullied and harassed by this girl and her friends, and who I thought people were my friends. And it started off small, just stuff like that, to where I was being called in. I supposedly was going to bash her head into a bathroom stall door. I was so scared, even after the Christmas break, to go to school. I didn't want to go anymore. I thought I'd be better off dead. Back to the school thing. So I sat in ISS, and 2, I have my male friend who I was just befriending at the time text me, where are you? She's all over him. I said, how about you walk by the office? He was in this special program, you know, he wasn't, you know, disabled or anything. He just was in these little classes with the para. And they could do laps in his group of that for the paras. So he told him he was going to go, that he was going to go take a walk, because they could take walks whenever, you know, to break themselves up from their homework or whatever, or a test. And he walks right in front of the office, and he's getting closer and closer, and then he looks at me. It's kind of, as he's walking around the office, because of course it's from here to here, there's glass. So he's just seeing me sitting in the chairs. Second he gets out of the view, like not even a minute later, my phone buzzes. What are you doing in the office? Supposedly I was going to kick her ass. Are you kidding me? I said, yeah. And I told him everything while I was sitting there, that I was plotting to hurt her. My friends heard me plotting to hurt this girl. That was not true at all. Ever. Told them if they wanted to, go for it. Leave me out of it. I don't want to be acknowledged for this. I don't want to be, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. So it got worse throughout the day. At the time, we were moving to a different house, but staying in the same school district. My mom was just driving us, and she was driving herself to work. And not even, once I got out in school suspension, he found me. And he's like, what happened? Where were you? I didn't see you at lunch. I couldn't sit by you. I couldn't. And I told him. I said, your new girlfriend got me in school suspension. Girlfriend. And like I said, we were all the same bus, and I didn't talk to him. I did not acknowledge him until we were on the bus, and he even sat by me. He's like, what is wrong? Why are you not talking to me? I thought we agreed to talk to each other instead of getting mad. And I told him what happened. Supposedly, I was planning to beat her up. That's why I sat. Well, if you didn't, why didn't you give him the names of the people who you told that you weren't going to do that? I said, honey, those are the people that told the principal I was. He got mad at those friends too. So he promised me, like I said, he reassured us. He's like, it's winter break. We have all these plans. I'll see you this weekend. So we can do something this weekend. I said, okay. I get home. There's not much in the house, because we're moving out of the town. And yeah, I'm not even home for 5 minutes. And the phone rings. I don't know how she got the house number. When I was friends with her, I never gave her the house number. She only had my cell phone. So, sorry. So she calls the house phone at my house. And she tells me, did you enjoy your in-school suspension? That's the first taste of what I'm going to do to you if you don't leave my man. Should have known. And that's when she told me, and I told him, I said, he loves me. We're making plans. We're going to hang out this weekend. We're doing this. We're doing that. We have all this planned. He doesn't want you. He's with me. Get it out of your head. We are happy. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, dearie, but he's only giving you one last Christmas. What do you mean? Me being dumb and young? I am still young, but I'm still a little dumb. That's iffy some days. That he just wants to give you one good Christmas left. Check my laptop, just so it doesn't overheat. And I'm going, what last Christmas? What do you mean, one good Christmas? We're in love. One second. That we're in love and all that, and nope, he just wants to give you one more good holiday. He didn't want to ruin Christmas for you or anything. He's planning to break up with you shortly after we get back from Christmas break. That hit me like a ton of bricks. You hear people say when they're so devastated if they lose a family member or pet to be told something of that nature. I didn't cry when I was on the phone with her. Didn't give her the satisfaction. I just told her, you are wrong. You need to stop calling me. You are harassing me. We're already working to get your little friend in some serious shit. You're going to be next. You need to leave me alone, and you need to leave us alone. I called him. After that, I broke down crying, and I called him. I said, what is going on? And I told him everything. I said, are you planning this? If you are, end it now. Don't drag this out any longer. If you are that unhappy, unsaid, whatever. Don't drag it on. No, I love you. I don't know what she's talking about. I will talk to her again and tell her to stop. Okay. Reassured me everything was going to be fine, got me stopped crying, and then we started watching a movie. Fast forward to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We fought constantly because she was always texting me, calling me, to where I would block her number. We blocked her number. We blocked her family's numbers. We ended up blocking a lot of numbers in this whole bullying and relationship thing, even after the relationship ended. And yeah, it sucked. We spent that whole time fighting. Then it was Christmas Eve. We were at my grandparents', I think. We as in my family and me, not me, him, and Lord knows who else. And just sitting there. She's texting and calling me and just telling me this over and over, to where I wasn't having fun. It made Christmas Eve and Christmas just miserable for both, of all the fighting we did, the yelling and crying, everything. Everything. And like the day after Christmas, I was not feeling good. I was in bed all day, didn't talk to anybody, didn't nothing. Nothing at all. I didn't know my life would change that day. I didn't. I'm sitting in bed being sick because of all the fighting. It took its toll on me. It did. And at that young, that's not good. I'm laying in bed. I feel my phone go off next to me. I didn't grab it in time. He was calling me. So I'm thinking, oh, he's calling me. I hadn't talked to him, you know. I told him I wasn't feeling good, that I was just going to be taking a nap. So I'm like, oh, he's probably calling to check on me. Oh. I missed the call. By the time I got it and had turned it on, I can't remember if I still had my flip phone or another phone. Before I could hit to answer it, it went to voicemail. I missed the call. So I called it right back and I said, oh, hi, honey. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't feel my phone until now, and it, you know, rang and, you know, and I thought I'd get it in time. I'm sorry. That wasn't his voice on the other end of the line. It was her brother's. Telling me that he was breaking up with me. He didn't want a slut like me. That I was a whore. I got called every name in the book at this time. Every name. And I said, I don't believe you. I want to talk to him, not you. I'm not dealing with you and her. I want to talk to him. Till he tells me that himself. Oh, I can't at the moment. They're kind of busy in the other room. I said, you put him on the phone right now, or this conversation is over. He hands him the phone and he's laughing. I said, what is going on? At this time, I had no idea if I was on speakerphone or anything. And he tells me, yeah, it's true. I'm with her. I have been for a while. It hurt. My whole world crushed. Everything came down like a ton of bricks. I already wasn't feeling good because of all the previous stuff. It was hard. I felt sick. I said, what do you mean? Do you not love me? We've known each other for how long? I didn't see this coming. At all. And so my mom comes in to check on me because she knew I wasn't feeling it. And she saw me that I was down crying. And she's like, what is wrong? I said, Lupe. Ooh, sorry. I knew I wasn't going to say names. I'm sorry, but probably nobody knows who I'm talking about. And I said, blank. What about blank? And at the time, I was still on the phone with him. I was crying. I couldn't breathe. Everything was tight. I just couldn't grasp. So, of course, she takes the phone and she's like, what's going on? He's calling my mom names. They're all taking turns calling my mom names. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna have a talk with your mom later. Because like I said, we known each other how long? Our moms were friends. And they hung up the phone once they heard that. And it's, you do not disrespect me. You do not disrespect my daughter. I will be talking to your mom blank. This is inappropriate. And they hung up right on her. I can't breathe. I am heartbroken. Heartbroken. Didn't know what to do. Later that day, my mom had took my phone and called again because of course, you know, it was the house phone. He didn't have his own cell phone. He used either his mom's, dad's, or the house phone to call me or text me. And so yeah, my mom calls his mom and she answers. Hey, what's going on? Of course, his mom's like, what do you mean? Danielle's over here crying, asking me to bring her to town to talk to him and to see him. What do you mean? What's been going on? She was oblivious to what he, her, and her brother had done. And he's like, well, this is what's going on. And then he started disrespecting me, calling me all these names, and same with my daughter. You hear her yell, boy, if I hear you've been disrespecting blank, I'm going to beat your ass. That you do not talk to blank that way. And blank is my mother. I'm not going to say, you know, her name on YouTube. I'm sorry. That you don't talk to blank that way. And she said she would call my mom back later when she knew more. And later that night she called and apologized to my mom, made him apologize to my mom. Get out of the kitchen, or out of the bathroom. My dog is acting up. And then too, she called me and told me she was sorry because she thought of me as one of her daughters. It hurt a lot. But that phone call didn't end there that day. I was getting calls and texts from her brother, restricted. That is when the worst started, was that night. I got called, even on Facebook. It was nonstop. Texting, calling, Facebook. You name it. I was called it and it was done. I was told to drink bleach. My life didn't matter. Now she's running around like a crazy mad woman. My life didn't matter. The world would be a better place if I killed myself. They would suggest ways for me to end it. At that time, I became very depressed and suicidal. I started cutting, and I'm not proud to say it even now. To think of that in 8th, 9th grade, to want to kill yourself. We just had somebody die last week who was 11, 12, hung himself. A 6th grader killed himself. Suicide. It is sad what is going on in the world today. But I mean, that took bullying to a whole new level. I mean, where my mom would even take my Facebook and type message back to me, you need to knock it off, blank. Or I'm calling the cops. Oh, go ahead, do it. And everything. And then she'd sit there and text. I've called them. They will be coming to talk to you. Messages stopped for the night. Picked up right back tomorrow, the next day. I hated it. Truly did. And I truly still hate it. School got worse. I'm not gonna lie. It got 20 times worse. I didn't want to go to school. I was cutting more. I didn't want to go because I knew what was waiting for me when I would get there. And a place you're supposed to be safe and learn and just, that's not right. It isn't. To the point where I was being called constantly into the office, in school suspension all the time. That was one they loved. I never got out of school suspension, I don't believe. I would call my mom, and by 10 o'clock in the morning, or earlier, calling for her to come pick me up. That I couldn't take it anymore.